How did the Chinese twin become an international sensation all of a sudden? Everybody thinks they know the Labubu story. Lisa from BLACKPINK posted a picture of her keychains on Instagram. The fans went crazy. And then Rihanna was seen with a Labubu on her Louis Vuitton bag. And then there's Kim Kardashian's son, who literally hacked her phone, begging for Labubu toys. All of a sudden, this little weird monster with 9 teeth is everywhere. If you think this is an overnight internet success story, then you're wrong. I spent days digging into Pop Mart's strategy and found out what actually happened. Pop Mart, the company behind Labubu, actually had been planning this for years. It was both genius and slightly terrifying. This was not luck, it was engineered virality. First, we have to look at the foundation that made Pop Mart stand out from its competitors. And here is where it gets really interesting. While Pop Mart's competitors such as Top Toys, X11, Collectible are basically still licensing existing characters and manufacturing toys, Pop Mart decided to do something completely different. It decided to create a character creation factory. And they've got a full pipeline from ideation to design to prototyping, then on to mass production, and then to marketing and sales. And this was all done in-house, which means that they can actually pump out original characters at scale. And for example, some of Pop Mart's pretty popular characters include Molly, Dimu, Skull Panda. The streamlined production line actually allowed them to push out new characters within just 8 to 10 months, while compared to the industry standards, which usually takes 12 to 18 months. Why does this matter, you may ask? Well, this actually allows Pop Mart to react to trends much faster than their competitors. While Pop Mart's competitors might still be stuck in the licensing negotiation stage, Pop Mart probably has already pushed out the new characters to the market. And when choosing artists to work with to create original characters, Pop Mart gets really creepy in their thoroughness. They literally have 20 plus people whose entire job is to fly across the world just looking for high potential artists to work with. By 2020, they've already worked with 350 plus creators worldwide. Many of them are actually from outside of mainland China, which is a very smart move for global expansion later. But when deciding which artists they choose to work with, their method is genius. They don't actually look at artists' portfolios in the boardroom. Instead, they actually go to toys expos and literally watch which artists would draw the biggest crowds, whose work will sell out the fastest. They're literally running focus groups in real time at every major design shows. They also created Inner Flow, an art incubator that works with galleries and young artists that produce almost everything from toys to sculptures. It's like they're building a pipeline of next generation of pop culture creators. And let's look at Casting Long, Labubu's creator. This guy was already building a pretty substantial following across Asia and Europe with his signature monster characters. Big eyes, mischievous expressions, that slightly unsettling vibe, but somehow still feels innocent. Labubu's look is instantly recognizable. 9 sharp teeth, tilted pupils, blending Nordic dark fairytales with Asian folklore rebellion. Pop Mart scouts actually discovered Casting at designer toy shows during mid-2010s, and his booth was always packed with crowds. People were obsessed with this raw but somehow emotional vibe of his work. So Pop Mart actually didn't create Labubu's appeal. They identified it and then scaled it globally. This wasn't a lucky discovery. This was a systematic talent hunting which eventually paid off. Once they chose these high potential artists to work with, how does Pop Mart ensure that they actually create viral character designs? Well, this actually leads us to something called a horse racing strategy, a mechanism that Pop Mart created to ensure that more resources are actually dedicated to IPs that are more likely to go viral. Pop Mart knows that there's no formula for viral characters. Sometimes a character just goes viral for no reason. Instead, they decided to run 100 plus characters at the same time in what they call horse racing. Every new character gets slotted into S, A, B, C tiers. For example, if you're a B tier character, then you probably get a couple thousand initial units at first. And if kids actually go wild for you at Toys Expos, then congratulations, you just got promoted to A tier. And this actually means that you get massive productions and then more resources for marketing budget. Wei Zhe, one of Pop Mart's early investors, actually describe their testing processes perfectly. Every year, Pop Mart would host this massive toy expos where probably 30,000 customers will come in a single day. And Pop Mart just watches which figures will actually fly off the shelf and which artists draws the most crowds at their booths. It's like beta testing in a video game, except that beta testers in this scenario are actually paying customers voting with their wallets. Even their pop shops and robot shops are part of this giant testing mechanism. These are all pretty low-cost ways to test demands before going all in. Because Pop Mart knows in this industry, nothing hurts a company's lifeline more than excessive inventory. With this testing method, new characters can actually be tested within just a few months and with pretty low costs. That is around a few million Chinese yuan, which is equivalent to a couple of $100,000 USD. The brutal efficiency of this is pretty impressive. While most companies just try to save their failing products, Pop Mart just cuts them loose and redirects the resources to winners. And now that we've talked about how they run tests on the products the artist designed, now I want to move on to Pop Mart's unique business model. Pop Mart is actually famous for its unique blind box business model, which just means you buy these boxes of toys and you don't really know what's inside. Pop Mart was not the first company that invented blind box, but it was actually the first company that brought the blind box to the mass public's attention. Okay, this is where everything got really unsettling when I was researching Pop Mart, because their blind box strategy was not just smart marketing, but in fact was actually a slot machine wrapped in cute packaging. And here's actually some science behind it. When you're actually unboxing the toys, reward center in your brain actually lights up 63% more than when you actually get a toy. You know what this actually means? This actually means the anticipation of unwrapping actually brings you more joy than the product itself. Pop Mart has figured this out and they've built their entire business model around it. And it actually gets more calculated than that. In China, they actually bring this blind box experience online. So when you actually order a blind box, you can immediately open it online and see what product that you actually got. And Pop Mart actually added flashy animation, sound, and even the box shaking to the online unboxing experience, which mimics the casino design a whole lot. And studies have found that this actually increases the impulse buys by 40%. Then to make the dopamine hits even stronger when you open a blind box, there are the hidden figures, which is only as low as a 0.63% chance of getting it. And to make people keep buying it, they even offer this buy 12 blind boxes, guaranteed one hidden figure philosophy. Pop Mart has mastered the sunk cost fallacy. If you had already spent $100 to open the blind boxes, might as well spend another $20 to make sure that the money that you invested wasn't wasted. After all, what if the next one that you open is actually the figure that you've been looking for? And if you ask me, this sounds a lot like the psychology behind gambling. And the results are pretty astonishing. 73% of their sales actually come from impulse purchases, which is nearly double than the industry average. You have to know, in the designer toys industry, a lot of purchases are already impulse purchases, and Pop Mart has double the amount than that. And customers spend an extra 708 Chinese yuan, which is around $100 USD on average, just purchasing rare figures. And what is even more astonishing is that their gross margin is close to 67%. That is even higher than the luxury enterprise LVMH, who is only 64%, which is already really high. But what is crazy about Pop Mart is that they somehow made this $10 blind box somehow feel like luxury collectibles by packing scarcity and emotional value into this affordable product. People think that they're buying toys, but actually they're buying this thrill of uncertainty, a perfectly engineered dopamine hit loop that makes them keep coming back. And Pop Mart didn't stop at psychological manipulation. It actually built an entire universe around their characters. They created the Pop Mart app, which is basically a massive market research engine disguised as a fan community. They track which characters people love, what materials they prefer, and then which styles are trending. Plus, when new drops hit, news spreads across the communities. This is free marketing that is way more effective than paid ads. But here is what they really copied from luxury brands' playbooks: the tiered memberships. If you spend more money, you get higher status, And higher status means you can actually get access to exclusive events and new releases and a higher chance of getting hidden figures. Suddenly owning toys isn't just about having money anymore. It's actually about having earned your place at the community. And each character actually becomes a form of self-expression. Collecting Skull Panda means you're cool and aloof, and collecting Labubu means that you're mischievous but still innocent. It's like wearing designer logos, except that these logos are actually designer toys. And the physical shops are also designed to be Instagram friendly. Pop Mart actually rotates themes every now and then, so every visit seems fresh. The colorful displays, the interactive installations, everything makes you want to pull out your phone and then share on social media. You almost rarely leave empty-handed. And in 2023, they opened Popland in Beijing, a full-scale theme park where Labubu actually does live performances. And I'm not kidding, there's actually a Labubu song that went viral in China, and it's everywhere in the internet nowadays. Now, according to Pop Mart, the theme park actually brings Labubu into a cultural phenomenon by bringing life to the character in ways that weren't possible elsewhere. They're not just selling toys, they're actually selling experiences, identity, and belonging. And it's working globally. Well, we've talked about some of the strategies that Pop Mart uses that puts itself in the leading position of the designer toys industry. But now I want to talk about some of the challenges that it faces. The thing about Labubu going viral is that is actually the exception, not the norm. The designer toys market is actually brutally unpredictable. As Pop Mart's former IP director admitted, they've actually launched countless IPs, but only people see the ones that survived. And the thing about the ones that actually do go viral, their lifespan is only 3 to 5 years before people move on to the next shiny thing. Unlike Disney, which still keeps Mickey Mouse relevant through years of storytelling, the designer's toys actually often rely on short-term social media buzz. When that buzz dies, so does the demand. The good thing is Pop Mart is actually facing this challenge head-on. They're actively trying to solve the sustainability problem by trying various things. Well, their first solution is actually product evolution. They'll iterate on the existing products to make it feel better. For example, in 2023, they actually redesigned Labubu with soft vinyl and plushy texture, so it felt less like a stiff toy, and the new design makes it feel like something that you would actually carry around. And they actually also enriched their product lines by launching their first building set. The building set is actually more interactive than the blind boxes and would actually keep people more engaged when they interact with the products of the brand. And second, they're also trying digital expansion. They actually created their first mobile game called The Dream Home, which lets players engage with characters beyond just collecting them. It is designed to strengthen the emotional connection with the audience and the characters they collect. And the third method they are trying is data-driven decision-making. In 2019, they partnered with Tencent to analyze more consumer behavior data and achieved a 50% forecast accuracy on their product lines. That is actually pretty impressive in an industry where predicting demand is notoriously hard. And finally, there's the supply chain overhaul. They've actually revamped their project management system so they can actually track productions in real time. With this revamped system, coordination between different teams are actually more effective. Without this coordination, delays may actually happen during production, which means it would actually take longer for a product to hit the market. And that can actually be detrimental in this fast-changing industry. All these efforts are actually part of the solutions that Pop Mart is offering to the challenge. But whether these solutions are effective, only time will tell. After diving deep into Pop Mart's strategy, here is what stands out for every business to learn from. Number 1, don't bet on everything in one hit. Pop Mart's horse racing approach spreads risks across 100+ characters while pouring resources into proven winners. Most companies try to save their failing products. Pop Mart just cuts them loose. Number 2, turn talent discovery into a system. Their systematic global talent scouting network makes spotting talent more repeatable than leaving it to chance. Number 3, understanding consumer psychology. If you want to make people go crazy about your product, understand the neuroscience behind marketing, such as sunk cost fallacy, dopamine triggers, social belonging. This actually creates competitive advantages that product features can't achieve alone. Number 4, Data creates speed, especially in unpredictable industries. Companies that can respond to the changing trends faster always win. Pop Mart's 50% forecast accuracy, together with the improved project management system, let them pivot fast when their competitors are still planning. And they have all the talents in-house to make things happen. And number 5, thinking systems, not products. Pop Mart doesn't just sell toys. They sell experiences, identities, and social belonging through apps, physical stores, and theme parks. The toy is just the entry point. The biggest lesson to take away from Pop Mart today is that even in creative industries, you can still engineer success through systematic approaches. Whether that's genius or a little manipulative, that depends on your perspective. But the results speak for themselves. I'm Jessie Zhen, the business guide for non-business people. For more strategy breakdowns like this, follow for more.